Preseason went pretty well. We've got a big group of new guys, so it was a transition period for us. We've only got 13 returners out of our 26 guys from last fall, so 13 new guys, but everyone came in pretty good shape. We've only had a couple minor injuries, some guys missing some sessions here and there, but overall as a group, the fitness was pretty strong, and the group chemistry kind of came together pretty quickly, so we're pretty happy with preseason. Yeah, in the last year and a half, there's been a lot of growth in our program, but our standards are still a bit higher than where we are right now. So we're trying to continue and build off that, and hopefully with the strong class of returners kind of carrying that torch and leading the way, some of these new guys can come in and kind of pick up the pieces that we might have been missing in the last year and continue building as a program, getting some more wins under our belt. We've got a couple guys that really stepped it up this year. First comes to mind is Jason Wise, who's a junior goalkeeper, who unfortunately for him was behind a excellent goalkeeper the last 2 years and didn't get much playing time. But he came in and it's night and day. I mean, he's trained hard all summer. He's more fit, more aware, being a vocal leader. So that was a positive to our group. And we've had a few other guys really step it up in all sorts of positions, from defense up to forward. And that includes some new guys who have had a really good preseason. Tyler Channel, who's a freshman from Troy, Zach Cooney, who's a freshman from Livonia, as well as a couple transfers. Yeah, well, there's a kind of a transition point that happened in the last couple days where we went from basically focusing through preseason on the fundamentals and the principles of the game and fitness and all the big picture stuff, where now we really have to focus on a game plan for one specific team. So we're going into a tough contest on Thursday against Lewis University, who, they beat the defending national champs last year. They won their conference. It's a school I'm obviously familiar with because I worked there for a couple years and know their program. And it's going to be tough for us, but the difference kind of is just now we need to focus on our specific game plan, not just the principles of soccer. And I think the guys are excited about it because, you train for 2.5, 3 weeks getting ready for the season, and now it's that time where, you're going to head on the bus, go out for your first road trip and see if it can all come together. This is something that I hope the returning guys can help the incoming, especially the freshmen. I mean, the transfers have had the experience before, but going through 2.5 weeks of preseason where you're on your own, you're living in the dorms, but nobody's on campus, you have no classes, your meals are all with the team. Now everything changes, and the guys really have to focus on the time management, getting to class on time, getting meals that maybe aren't with the team, but they have to schedule around classes, practice, study hall. Still maintain that social balance as well and be focused. So it's a big transition. I think we have a mature group of guys, even though we're young. We only have one senior on the roster, but for the guys that came in, they're all pretty organized, academically focused, guys that want to be here competing. So I'm hoping that it should be an easy transition for them. Okay, well, we're going to Illinois and Indiana for 2 regional games, which is obviously a huge contest for us when it comes to rankings and trying to get into the national postseason. First, heading to the Chicago area to play Lewis University, who is defending conference champs from the GLVC. They beat Northern Kentucky, who was the national champion last year. And they're a roster full of a lot of new guys, too. They've got some internationals, some kids from Florida, some kids from Arizona, the local Chicago group. So they're going to be a strong program. A coach that's been there with a lot of, 20 years, so there's a lot of consistency with his program. Always strong defensively, always very athletic, and maybe those are a couple things that we're going to have to deal with, try to possess the ball more, try to wear them down. And then we'll head to St. Joe's in Indiana on Saturday for a team that's very kind of up and down. They've got games where they might have a tight contest against a lower team, and then all of a sudden they'll beat an NKU or an Ashland or a Rockhurst because they're one of those teams that just go at you. So if they're on their game, they can put up 4 goals a game. But if they're not, hopefully we can hold them to a low scoring low-scoring night, and we can be the better of the teams at two-night. But it's two teams in the GLVC that are going to be very tough, and so we hope to go out with a strong start to our season.